What's going on, kinfolk? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering all of the questions that I said I was going to answer. You guys asked a lot of really great ones, so I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in and start answering them. So if you want to see that, then keep on watching. Yoga. Okay, so question number 1 from Tony S. What are your fundamental standards of a partner? He said a lot of ladies get this question confused with external things, but I mean the most essential things or qualities to you. The most important qualities for me, I mean, first and foremost, he has to love the Lord. Like, he has to be a strong leader. He has to be passionate about God and passionate about the Lord's will for his life. Like, I want somebody who is focused, determined, who dreams big, someone who is honest and loyal, someone who is very self-aware. Because I feel like a lot of people are not self-aware. Men, women, everybody. Like, there's a lot of people who are not self-aware. And self-awareness is literally everything. It's so important. Because if you're not aware of your behaviors, your patterns, your habits, then you can't change, you can't grow, you can't become a better person if you can never come to terms and be aware of the way you are currently, the way you think, how you process things. Like, that's so important. And it's really hard to meet men who are self-aware. I feel like it's more likely that women are self-aware than guys are. So that's one of the biggest things for me too. I want somebody who is just a go-getter. Someone, you know, I prefer someone who's an entrepreneur, who has at least an entrepreneurial spirit, because I feel like then we can relate to each other, because I'm always hustling. I'm always trying to grow my businesses and doing all that. So it would be nice to have somebody who kind of has that same drive and passion for entrepreneurial things. Honesty, I think, is on the top of the list. Someone who is willing to take responsibility for where they're wrong, someone who has great communication skills, someone who can, you know, communicate effectively and not just see things from his perspective, but also be like, okay, well, I see where you're coming from. I may not agree, but I see where you're coming from. Let's find a compromise. So communication is big. So I would say those are some of the few. I have a lot of, I'm very picky. So I have a lot of different standards, but those are probably the top ones. Jasmine Janelle, how do you plan on being your introverted self while starting to date again? Have you had the conversation with yourself and God about getting out of your bubble more to experience new things and people? I mean, I think that's a challenge. That's why I wanted to do online dating, because I'm just an introverted person, and I've come to terms with that. I feel like I really had a hard time really just coming to terms with it and like feeling bad about it, like, or maybe I should be different. Like, no, this is who I am. Like, I am just an introverted person. I have an extroverted side when I'm around my people, but I'm not the kind of person that likes to be out and about all the time. That's why I decided to do online. Now, for me, I feel like that kind of, like, my introverted nature is actually beneficial in a lot of ways, because I don't feel the need to always be out. I don't feel the need to always go out with people. So I'm very, very picky about who I will go on a date with. If I feel like, based on our conversation, you might not be a good fit for me, I'm not gonna go out with you just for a free meal. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time. If I don't have peace about it, regardless of whether it makes sense or not to anybody else, if I don't have like that peace, that settled feeling in my spirit about the person, then I'm not gonna go out. So I've done online dating it was like 10 years ago or something, and I did online dating for a little while, and I think I went out with like one person. Oh, 2 people. And all the time that I've online dated, there were only 2 people that I felt peace about going out with, and I talked to a lot of people like on the site. And there was one guy in particular who was really just a genuinely good person, who was willing to fly, it's a long story, but he was willing to fly me out to see my best friend at the time, and just wanted to steal a couple minutes to meet me, and I didn't have peace about it, so I didn't even go. So I'm just very particular. So I feel like because I'm an introvert, it's gonna serve me well in the fact that I'm not just gonna go out with any and everybody. but I'm okay. I've come to terms with the fact that I'm an introvert and that's just who I am. And you know, I know that the Lord will direct me and guide me, and as long as I listen to his direction, then he'll position me to meet the right person in his time. Now, in regards to experiencing new things and people, I want to experience new things, but I don't, like, I'm just particular about the people that I allow in my life. So I'm not, like, I don't feel like I need to meet a bunch of new people. I love the people that I have in my life, and I want to have experiences with them. And if I meet new people along the way, then great. But if I don't meet a bunch of new people, then I'm really okay with that. I'm not the kind of personality that has to have like a ton of people in their life. So that's never really bothered me. So yeah, that's that. Okay, what are your, F Doctor, what are your goals for 2020? And are you giving any consideration about moving to Texas or Colorado in the future? My goals for 2020, I will do a separate video on that. I'm almost ready to do it, but I haven't quite finished my project yet. I'm almost done. I'm pretty much done. I just have to do one more thing. I don't think I'll be moving to Texas. Like, I don't see myself moving anywhere right now. I think I would have to get like a really clear word from God before I make any type of moves. But I really love Indianapolis. I'm happy right now. I feel like I have a lot of amazing things going on, and I just don't see myself moving anytime soon. As much as I would love to be with Andrea in Colorado, it's just not really feasible right now. Plus, I'm in a really good place right now, and I love what's happening in my life right now. I love this new job. I just am having so much fun with it. So I wouldn't want to, oh, look at Buffy. I don't see myself leaving right now. Okay. You also ask, have you ever taken the Myers-Briggs personality test? And if so, what is your personality type? I have taken it. I think my Myers-Briggs personality, I was an INFJ-A, I think it was. I forgot exactly which one it was, but I literally just took it. So I think I was INFJ-A. If I find out that I'm wrong, if I can find it, I'll put it somewhere on the bottom of the screen or something and tell you what it really is. But I think that's what it was. Child, is respect even a thing anymore on these internet streets? People can be trifling. I have mixed emotion about dating apps, but to each their own. Discernment is key. Absolutely, discernment is literally everything. I feel like you get as much respect as you demand. So for me, if someone comes at me, like, I started talking to this one guy who, you can tell a lot about a person by the way they message. So this person was just like, hey, HRU, like, how are you? Instead of typing how are you, it was HRU and like WYD, and just abbreviated everything. And like when guys do that, that's an automatic turnoff for me, because like it just shows you're being lazy in your conversation. Like, this is your first impression and you're abbreviating all your words. Why? Like, we're adults. So to me that was a turnoff, but I was like, I know that's probably a little bit irrational, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it isn't, but so I decided to like talk to him a little bit, and we messaged a little bit back and forth, and then he just disappeared. And then randomly he was just like, hey, what's going on? And I messaged back and I was like, hey, good, how are you? And he goes, you disappeared on me. I'm like, no, you're the one who disappeared. Like, don't come at me like, really? You the one that disappeared. And he was just like, oh, well, I'm here now. And I'm like, okay, no, red flag. And then he tried to give me his number. I just never responded. I was like, I can tell your personality off jump. Like, I can tell immediately what kind of person you are, and I'm not playing that game. So I just never responded to him again. But you can tell a lot about a person, how a person communicates with you. And like, if someone disrespects me, then I'm just not gonna respond. I don't have time for that. So I feel like what you're willing to accept is what you're gonna get, really. And that goes for anybody, like whether you're meeting in person or whether you're meeting them online. I don't think it's much different. Like, someone can disrespect you just as easily meeting you in person as they can online. Be Necessary asks, hi Shanna, how's your sister? You haven't mentioned her in your vlogs for a while. My sister's amazing. I love her so much. I'm so excited to go visit her. She's doing amazing things. She's putting this really awesome conference together, so I'm gonna put the link or the website of where you can sign up if you're interested. It starts in February, and I actually signed up, and I'm gonna watch this conference and be a part of it. So if you guys are interested in doing it, the website will be in the description box also if you want the link so that you can click and go directly to it.
What's going on, Kinfolk? It's Karine, Shanna's sister, and I'm here because I want to tell you about an event that I'm both hosting and organizing called the Embodied Trauma Conference. And it's a free online educational event that it's a conference. We're calling it a conference, and it's intended to help people understand and learn how to work with trauma imprints. So we're going to explore an array of experiences that people can have that can lead to trauma. And some of these may be surprising to you. So we're going to explore things like intergenerational trauma, pre and perinatal trauma imprints, birth-related trauma, developmental trauma, so trauma that can happen in relationship when we were children. And we're also going to have a really important focus on social and historical trauma. And I want everybody to have access to this information. It feels in many ways deeply personal to me. On both sides of my family, there are important ways in which the lives of the people that I love have been impacted by trauma. Some of it is known to them, and some of it I think is less well known. When you look at social or historical influences, a lot of these trauma imprints are passed on in behavior or through epigenetics in ways that we don't see. And because we don't see them, we don't understand how they impact our lives. And that's why this feels so important to me. This information feels so important to me to share with as many people as I can. So the speakers who are going to be there are going to be speaking to topics that are relevant for all of our lives, and they're going to be speaking to the general public. So there will be people who have an interest in, who might be therapists or clinicians, or who already have an interest in trauma-related topics. But even if you don't, you can join the conference. As I said, it's free to join, and you can attend any session that feels relevant to you. Skip the ones that don't, although I would say tune into as many as you can, because it might be surprising how relevant they are, if not to us, then to someone we love, if not to someone we love, then to people in our community. This is really, for me at heart, understanding trauma imprints is about understanding the nature of the suffering that we continue to experience, the disconnection we continue to experience in our own bodies, in our lives, in our relationships with each other in a broader sense, in our communities and in the world at large. This is all fundamentally related to the imprint or the impact of trauma on the individual and the collective as well. So I'm super excited to share this with you. You can register for this event for free by going to www.embodiedtrauma.com, and you should see a button just at the top of the page, also throughout the page, that says join the conference. Again, it's free, and I really hope that you'll be there, and share it. Share it with others if you think that they might be interested or it might benefit them too. Hey, it's me again. I forgot to mention one thing. Listen, trauma is a heavy word, and it can be a heavy kind of experience, but it's not going to be all doom and gloom at the conference, I promise. There's one element to the conference in which we're helping to illuminate how past experiences, or even experiences that affected our ancestors, have come to influence how we experience ourselves today. But we have a focus, we have a lens on the future and on our body's own innate wisdom, intelligence, and healing potential, healing capacity, which when we tap into it can lead to a lightness, a joy, creative engagement, more ability to connect with ourselves, connect with others, connect with our world. I mean, there's so much on the other side of trauma that many of us aren't even aware of. And so there's going to be a very important focus on that 2. There's going to be some celebratory moments throughout the conference. And so I just wanted to say that in case you were like, why would I attend a conference all about trauma and depress myself more? No. This is not about that. This is about what lies beyond it. But first we need to be able to understand it. We need to be able to see it in our lives before we can move beyond it. I just wanted to add that. I hope to see you there.
And it's gonna be really amazing. She's putting it all together herself, and she is already like, I'm so proud of her, and I'm so excited for her, and it's just gonna be really great. And I'm also gonna go visit her in the spring sometime. I cannot wait to go see them. I didn't get to see them at all last year, so I'm looking forward to going to visit in the spring. I'm so excited. I miss her so much. I love her to death. SD Brooke, my man. He goes, you already know if you aren't on Christian Mingle, these simple never sinned in my life folk gonna try and come for you in these comments. That's so funny. And then Marilyn Bailey was like, she responded and she said, Christian Mingle is not as Christian as you may think. There are trolls on there too. And that is the truth. I have been on Christian Mingle a long time ago, and man, some of the worst are on Christian Mingle, unfortunately. Claudia Aloho, hopefully I said your name right. You still keep in touch with your ex-boyfriend, and would you consider getting back together with him since he was such a good guy? I have kept in touch with him just a little bit. It's just like, hey, how are you? Good, how are you? But it's, I don't see us getting back together. Like, he's a good guy. Like, he's a really good guy. But honestly, as great of a guy as he is, like, his relationship with the Lord wasn't as strong as I would need in a man. You know what I mean? Like, he has good morals. He, you know, he does believe in God, and, you know, I think that he respects God. But I don't think that he has like a deep-rooted connection with God like I do. It's not a priority in his life, and like that was something that is just, it's just not negotiable for me. So I don't see that ever happening. Pink Toffee 77, can you do African American or natural African American hair? Yes, I do some African American hair. I don't do a lot of it because in Bloomington there just really aren't a lot of black people, to be honest. But I probably did more in my earlier years, like over the last several years. I do some, but just not a whole lot anymore. But yes, I can, and I have done African American hair. Sunny, how is your online boutique going? It's going well. I have been working on, like this year, one of my goals, spoiler alert, is to just be more focused and more like better with my time management so that I can put a little bit more time on the boutique, because I haven't posted consistently since I got this new job. It's been more time consuming, but I have to learn how to balance my time a lot better so that, you know, I can, you know, spread my time more evenly throughout my endeavors. So the boutique is something that I'm going to be working on a lot harder this year. You also asked, do you still want to have children? And I would love to see more beauty content. You're a loyal subscriber. Thank you so much for supporting me and following me. I appreciate you so much. I will definitely do more beauty content. I actually am excited to do more like tutorials and things like that. But I think, because based on what you guys have said, you want me to split my channel again. So the beauty content and all the sit-down videos will be on ShannaMarieB, which I'll put the link in the description box. You can subscribe to that channel as well. And then all the vlog, it'll just be vlogs only, and then Q&As and stuff, whatever I do in Q&As will be on this channel. So even like the Real Talk Thursday videos, I still want to do Topic Tuesday videos. Those kind of things will be on ShannaMarieB, and then ShannaMarieBVLOGS will be just vlogs. So go subscribe, but I will do that for you. Do I still want to have children? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I would love to be a stepmother. Like if I meet somebody who has a child, I'm 100% okay with that. I actually like dating men with children because I feel like those men typically are more mature. For the most part, not always, but I don't know. Honestly, like, I'm not opposed to having children. I just think it scares me a little bit. It's just such a big deal. It is such a huge responsibility. But if I meet a man who I feel 100% safe with, and who I feel like would be an amazing father and a strong partner, then maybe. I guess it just depends. I mean, if the Lord wants me to have kids, I'll have kids. But if I don't ever have kids, and I don't think that would bother me either. So we'll see. Jay loves to cook. Longtime subby. Thank you so much for subscribing and for being a part of my family. I appreciate you. I think it's extremely rude for folks to ask if you're dating Brian. Oh, you didn't have a question. I don't knock you guys for asking that because I'm sure, I knew that people probably think that, but no, I'm not dating Brian. That's not, like, that's my homie. That's my boy, but like we are not dating, and like no, that's girl code. That's one of my good friends situations. So like no. V Craglin asks, what about your friend you visited in another city? I'm pretty sure you mean Ron. Ron is the homie. I really like Ron. He's a really, really good guy, but I just don't see anything romantic happening out of that for a few reasons. We're good friends. Like, I don't think it'll ever be romantic with he and I. Shamika Williams asks, hey Shanna, what are some of your deal breakers? I'm learning that if a man has one or more of my deal breakers to walk away and move on. Amen to that. Some deal breakers. If a man parties a lot, if a man has his like Instagram connected to his account, or if I meet somebody like out and about or whatever, and I check his Instagram and he's always at the club or always going out and all that stuff, that is an absolute deal breaker for me, because I'm just not a club goer, and I don't want a partner that goes out and all the time and clubs all the time or whatever. A man who doesn't love the Lord, absolute no-no. A man who always feels like he needs to be around people all the time, like that's a deal breaker, just because like I feel like that's a character issue. Like if you feel like you have to be entertained by someone all the time, then you're not comfortable being with yourself. Like it's one thing if you just want to hang out with your friends, like oh, that's fine. But like if you feel that you cannot ever be alone, that's a deal breaker. Hating cats is a deal breaker. Like you don't have to particularly love them, but like these are my babies. Buffy's behind me. Right, baby? Where's the girl? Oh, look at that. She's such an angel. Like if you don't like cats and you're not willing to put up with them at all, that's a deal breaker for me, because I love cats. Like I love animals, period. So I can't be with somebody who doesn't love animals, or doesn't at least like animals too, because like I'm not okay with never having a pet again. You know what I mean? So those are a few of them. Marilyn Bailey asks, Shanna, I was hoping you and your last interaction would go the distance. Are you comfortable saying why it ended? He was a good guy, like I said earlier, but I did talk about that in, I think it was the Real Talk Thursday video, the marriage series after the divorce video where Geraldine and I talked about that. I did talk about that. Long story short, it was the way he interacted with me. Like I had a hard time, like I went to go see my sister for the first time ever. I didn't know I had a sister until 2014. And that, like me going to Switzerland that first time was the very first time that I had ever spent that much time with her. We had the best time. So I was really emotional. And I was really like kind of irrational, and he kind of like withdrew from me and was just acting different towards me. Like I would call him in the morning and normally he would answer the phone even if he was still in bed, but like he wasn't answering my calls. He would get to work and all of a sudden he was just too busy. And I started, like I asked him, I was like, hey, I want to talk about this. Like I understand that it started with me and I'm the reason why you're acting a little bit different, but like let's talk about this so that we can move forward and clear the air. And he was like, I'm not acting different, you're acting different. And I'm like, I understand that it started with me and you're only responding to how I acted, but like you need to take responsibility for the fact that you are acting different too. Like we both are playing a role in like how our relationship is going right now, even though I take responsibility for the fact that it started with me. And he goes, are you kidding? You sound like Trump right now. He said, Shanna, I'm not a hand holder. I'm not gonna coddle you while you play victim. I was like, whoa, okay. When I'm wrong, or if I'm acting different, or if I'm being irrational, or if I'm acting different than I have been acting, I can take responsibility for that. But if you can't emotionally support me, or if you feel like my emotions, because you don't understand them, are me playing victim, then you're not for me. So that's the reason why it ended, because he literally just dismissed my emotions, didn't even try to see it from my perspective, didn't ask me like, well, explain to me, like, what are you feeling? What's going on? Like, he just dismissed them and said I was playing victim, and that was it. So at that point, I was done. So, and then it just fell apart from there. Ola third, would you consider moving to Switzerland? I would love to live closer to Karine. I really, really would. But like, I don't know that I could leave the United States. I love this country, you know, even with all the crap that's going on. I really do love America, and as beautiful and as amazing as Switzerland was, I'm not 100% sure that I would move there. I don't know. I mean, if that's what the Lord wants for me, then yes. Would I love to be around Karine? Absolutely. But I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen. Taka Boom's room. Why do the holidays bring out negative emotions in you? Also, have you heard of the new holiday trend called Friendsgiving? Would that be something that you think you could get into for the holidays? Or have you considered starting a tradition like a yearly holiday vacation to bring back positive feelings and excitement? The holidays are emotional for me because when I was little, our family was like, so we were that family, okay? Like, we ate dinner together every night, we gardened together, my dad was the coach of everything, we played basketball in the backyard all the time together, and we flew kites together. We did all this stuff together. On Christmas, we always had our grandparents over, and we had our little traditions, and we sang Christmas carols around the table on Christmas, and it was just like, it was that family. And so I have a lot of really fond holiday memories, but once my parents announced their separation, then everything just fell apart. And after that, the holidays just were never the same, and it just brought me a lot of sadness. Then, especially after my grandmother died, everything just fell apart. And so the holidays always kind of remind me of like that time and how it used to be so amazing, and everything just fell apart. I feel like our whole family just fell apart, and it just makes me really sad. And honestly, like, I don't know how to shake those emotions. And I am really comfortable being single, and I don't feel the need to be in a relationship, but for some reason around the holidays, it's really hard for me because I'm 37. I never in a million years thought that I would be single with no kids at this point. I thought I would have my own family and have my traditions. And I think the holidays are the only time that I feel that, like, sadness about it. Like, it's not that I should have a family by now, but sometimes, like, emotionally, I feel like man, it just I don't know, it reminds me of the fact that I don't have it. And then, you know, thinking about the past, even when I did go to Switzerland, like watching Karine and Daniel and the kids, like, it was so beautiful, but it kind of made me feel like, like, I should have this, like, I don't have this, and it just makes me feel that I don't have it. Even though I'm okay with not having it normally, during the holidays, I'm just more sensitive about it, I guess. I have heard of Friendsgiving, and I don't know. Everybody does their own family thing, and I guess if someone else was just like, hey guys, let's have a Friendsgiving, I'd be like, awesome, let's do it. But I wouldn't, like, I don't know. Everybody has their families, and they do their things with their families, and I don't know. I never really suggested it. I have thought about going on vacation during the holidays though. Maybe that'll happen in the future. Sarah asks, hey Shanna, longtime subby here. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being part of my family. I've watched you grow tremendously through your journey, and I'm excited to see what the Lord has in store for us both in 2020. Thank you so much. I really am excited about it. What would you say are the top things one should consider before marriage? Woo. Man, I really feel like one of the biggest things is, here's the most important one. If the guy is a great guy, but he doesn't have like a solid relationship with the Lord and like a deep-rooted relationship with the Lord, then like you have to really consider that. Like, do you think that you will respect that later on? Like, as amazing as you feel like he is now, when you're married and 5, 10, 15 years down the road, are you still gonna be okay with that? I would say that kind of goes along with number 2 would be, you know, you have to think, there are some things that you might be like, about now, that you think, well, if we get married, like, I'm sure I'll get over it. The things that annoy you now are only gonna be exaggerated as time goes on. So if you marry that person, you have to think about, like, are these behaviors, are these habits something that I can live the rest of my life dealing with? And like, it might sound petty, but I feel like the small things are the things that people ignore. Like, people ignore all the little things, but like, those are the things that cause the arguments later, because they get magnified when you have to spend the rest of your life with them. So I would say just pay attention to those things. Don't ignore red flags. Even if it's something that no one else understands, it doesn't matter. If it's something that is bothering you, if it's like affecting your peace, or something deep in your spirit is bothering you about this person, do not ignore it. Oh my gosh, do not ignore it. And also, let's see, a third thing to consider before marriage. I mean, I guess I would just say, just pay attention to the details, just in general. Like, pay attention to the details, because the details matter. Like, some people think I'm ridiculous for feeling like this, or thinking about this, or looking at this, but you know, all those things, like, I know myself. Like, I am very self-aware. So like I said before, I think that maybe that would be number 3. Like, make sure that the person that you're with is self-aware, because if that person is not self-aware, he's not gonna be able to see where he's wrong, see where he needs to make adjustments. And if you're not self-aware, if I'm not self-aware, then we're not gonna be able to do the same. Like, you have to be able to be like, okay, I understand that I'm like this, so I know that because I'm like this and you're like this, like, we need to come to a compromise, and I know that that about me is something that I need to change, so, you know, whatever. So I would say, pay attention to the details, make sure he has a strong relationship with the Lord, and be very self-aware. Make sure that the person that you're with, that you're considering marrying, is self-aware. Like, those are the 3, I would say, top things, at least for me, to consider before marriage. Because all of those things, if you pay attention to the details and you have someone who's self-aware, like, every other subject falls in line with that. So like, how a man deals with his finances, how a man acts with his parents, or how a man is gonna be with you and his kids, or if he puts you as a priority, and if he considers you in this, that, or the other. Like, all of that kind of falls in line with him being self-aware and his relationship with the Lord, and paying attention to all the details. Because if he's a strong man of God and he's very self-aware, then he's going to know what is appropriate, what is godly, how he should conduct himself as a man of God and as a husband, and all of those things. And then, you know, paying attention to all the details, like, if you pay attention to how he's spending his finances, if you pay attention to how he treats you when his family's around, or how he treats you around his friends, or, you know, how he acts when you're in public, or how he responds to your emotions, or, you know, just all of those details, like, those are huge. You know, how he responds to your bad habits, or how does he criticize you? I mean, because I feel like there's constructive criticism, which I feel like constructive criticism is necessary. Like, please tell me if there's something that I could be doing better as your girlfriend. Like, tell me what you need, because everybody has needs. I need certain things in a relationship, and that other person is gonna need certain things from me in a relationship. So if you pay attention to the details, and if the person is self-aware, then they're gonna be willing to see those things. They're gonna understand how they need to conduct themselves in order to be the best partner that they can be. So hopefully that made sense. L. Dalton asks, if you don't have kids, are you open to adoption? Honestly, if I don't have kids, then I don't want kids at all. So if I don't have my own kids, I probably wouldn't consider adoption, because if I'm gonna have kids, I would just wanna have kids and then maybe consider adoption along with, you know, me having my own kids. But I wouldn't do I wouldn't do that over having my own kids, if that makes any sense. Like, I think adopting is beautiful, and I would definitely consider adopting in the future, but only if I was gonna have my own kids too. Now, if I find out later in life that I do want kids and I can't have kids, then yes, I would consider adoption. Kawana's Life, thank you so much. You said I'm just such a cool person. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Katiwi5, hopefully I said that right. Thank you for being transparent and sharing your journey. Thank you for watching it. I appreciate your support. I think a lot of us have become hardened because it can be tough out there. I can relate to that hardness. Being more open is hard. I appreciate your transparency. Can you do a video at some point on online dating in general as a Christian or from a Christian perspective? That's a really good idea. I will add that to my list of videos to do. So if you guys have other videos that you want me to do. Oh, hi. Hey, sweet girl. You're so pretty. Oh, that's my angel. So leave in the comments other videos that you might want to see, and then I'll do those videos over at ShannaMarieB. Rudy Ann, Wild Goose Lang. What about eHarmony? I did eHarmony a long time ago and I did not like it at all. So I probably wouldn't do that one again just because like I just didn't like I didn't have a good experience. Kim H, what are some of the characteristics that you're looking for in a man? And you said you probably answered that question. I did answer that question. Hopefully you felt like I answered that question. Siempre 8203, big facts on the respect factor. Do your close friends recommend people they feel are compatible for you? How has that been if you followed through? I have had my friends like suggest certain people or try to fix me up with certain people, and it just I never went through with it. I just didn't really feel like it was a good fit for me. So yeah, I mean, if they did, then, oh, actually that's not true. I met the last guy I dated from Brian, actually. So Brian introduced me to the last guy, and that's how I met him. And that was a great one. It went really well. I told you guys how it ended, but so yeah, that was good. But other friends I haven't followed through. Let's see. Shauna Han, how is your father? Is he still in the hospital? My father's great. I know you guys just saw that in like one of the previous videos. He's doing so much better. You asked, did they close the colostomy or is it permanent? Please forgive me if I'm too personal. I just want him to go back to his prior self. I appreciate that. I don't feel like that's too personal. He does have a colostomy bag right now and it is going to be reversed. So thank God for that. That was one of the biggest things for him that made him nervous, was whether he would have to have that forever or not. And he is gonna be able to have that reversed probably in the next couple months. So praise God. Cherie York asks, what is your type physically? Physically, my type is tall. I prefer a black man. I just love me some black mans. Okay. I love height. Height is really important. So really tall is preferable. Of course I want to be attracted to the guy. I like someone who works out, so someone who has muscles. Those are pretty much the main things. Tall, dark, handsome, and muscly. Patricia Logan, no questions, just saying hi. Hey. Michelle Burton, are you using a dating site geared towards Christians? No, because I have done that in the past and I feel like Christian sites are like just as bad, So I feel like almost worse, because then you get a lot of self-righteousness. But and then there's a lot of people who just pretend to be Christian and really aren't. So I just decided to like go on a regular one. Miss Tish, thank you so much for all your beautiful words. I really appreciate that. And you suggested that I date Gabriel and Chad's friend Justin. I'm not offended. You said hopefully I didn't offend you. No, you didn't. Don't worry about it, girl. That's not offensive to me at all. Justin is really cool. And we're just different. Like, Justin is a really good guy. He would be a really good friend. We have communicated a little bit, but I just don't think that romantically we are compatible, just for different reasons. I mean, he's an awesome guy, but I just don't think that he's right for me romantically. Blondina Costa del Sol asks, how do you see yourself in 10 years? Goals. In 10 years, I would see myself hopefully married, maybe children, definitely a strong entrepreneur. I want my boutique to grow. I want my YouTube channel to grow. There's a lot of things. I feel like the Lord is just opening up a lot of different doors for me, doors that I never thought would open. So I really see myself being very like successful in like the things that I'm doing now, but like on another level. So that's where I would see myself. Hopefully that makes sense. I want to have a house by then. I would like to buy a house, things like that, just be more established in that way. So those are some goals. Quinda Lynn, you don't have a question, but you prayed for me. Thank you so much for your prayers. It means a lot. Amy Martin says, hey there, your outfit looked really cute. Is it possible to see a pic of it? Also, have you thought about posting your outfit of the day on Instagram? Yes, I have. And I probably am going, I'm going to be more intentional about posting this year on Instagram as well. So be on the lookout for that and go follow me. Travel One, girl, boy, whatever you are, if there's no picture of you on here, you are a hot mess. I just need to say that. You are a hot mess. You have a lot of insults to spew. You're a hot mess, girl. Hot mess. Aisha Nicole, Lifestyle Fashion, and I can't see the rest of it. Hey Shanna, what is a good dating site to go on? Would you date long distance? I feel like there are a lot of really good dating sites. The only one that I definitely would be like, no, is Tinder. Like, I feel like Tinder is the trashiest site ever in life. Like, and that's the only one I would say I wouldn't go on. I would definitely consider dating long distance. I feel like long distance requires you to be more intentional about getting to know each other by talking on the phone regularly. And even though like spending time together is really important, I feel like just gaining that foundation of talking, getting to know each other is like more important than seeing each other and spending time together. So I feel like when you're in long distance relationships, you're forced to be more intentional about communicating. So yes, I would. Lady Love 33, thank you so much for all of your kind words. S. Gray McMahon asks, what's your ideal guy like? I already told you that. Hopefully I answered your question. And the last question, Shanna, are you a negative person? No, I'm not. I have negative moments, but I'm not a negative person. Do you drain people of their energy? Oh, you're one of those. I do not drain people of their energy. If I feel like my energy is really heavy, then I just don't go around people at all because I don't want to affect them. Why do you go on and on about your ex-husband? I definitely don't. If you watch my vlogs, I don't ever really mention him unless there's a point to me mentioning him. Do you regret your decision to divorce him? Absolutely not. That was the best decision. Divorcing him was definitely the right thing. When was the last time you read your Holy Bible? This morning, because I read it every night, every morning. So I read the Bible every single day, in the morning, when I wake up, and before I go to bed. Your comment is that I seem bitter at this time in my life. Bitterness can sneak up and overtake you without you knowing. I'm definitely not bitter. Like I said in my video, I feel like maybe I'm a little bit hard-hearted, and like there are things about myself that I'm still working on. So those things I've definitely, you know, sought God, and now I feel like I'm so much freer. I'm not as angry. I'm definitely more open now. So I'm gonna go ahead and take your questions and comments not as you being a jerk, but that you are genuinely asking those questions. I'm not even gonna take offense to that. So hopefully I answered all of your questions. But that's it, you guys. Those are all the questions that you guys asked. Thank you guys for participating. Hopefully I answered them all, and if I didn't, let me know in the comments and I'll try to adjust them in the next video. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe, and help me to continue growing my family. Bye guys.